This person, her name is Liza, and Liza has a podcast called the 8 Billion Podcast. I was honored to go on the show. She's had so many inspiring people. She's had multiple seasons of the podcast, and I'm excited to bring her up to share her story, share what she's learned in video marketing, and really share this message with you so you can take away for yourself. So please stand up, give me a warm welcome for Liza, Florida!
Can you guys hear me? Yeah? Okay, guys. So, obviously, my name is Liza, Florida, and thank you so much for the warm welcome. You guys have truly become like family in just 2 days. So, I am a real estate expert. I'm from Southern California. I'm a podcast host, of course, of the 8 Billion Podcast, and as of today, I am a speaker. So this, you guys, I'm telling you, when you want to manifest your dreams, put it on your website, because I launched this website in April, and I said I want to be a speaker. And actually, it would take over 10 years before I'd actually get on stage again. So I just want to provide you a little bit about my background. So the reason I am a real estate expert is I've been in residential real estate for over 23 years, let's just say that. I'm the managing partner for the Myriad Group, which is a real estate boutique out of Orange County, California. And our specialty is in distressed asset management. So from 2008 to 2013, we represented 6 major financial institutions during what was called the subprime mortgage crisis. So you guys all know that. That was big in foreclosures. And the reason that it would take me 10 years before I got on stage was because over 10 years ago, the reason I was on stage was as a panelist or to speak about the banks that we were representing. So as you can imagine, it was very heavy and dense conversations that I'd have to actually have on stage because, of course, I was talking about families losing their homes and the mortgage crisis and millions of families in foreclosure. So you guys, I'm pretty sure most of you guys remember those times. It wasn't too far back, but that was exactly why I was on stage before. But there'd be a series of events that would end up happening in those 10 to 12 years that would be a different reason why I'm on stage today. And so a lot of, like they say, like pain becomes the fuel of so many things that change you. And of course, delving into this business, like I said, with so many families losing their homes, it was so hard for me. So internally, I was struggling with the fact that we were still successful in business. However, I couldn't understand why so many families were losing their homes. So fast forward, I ended up leaving the business for a little bit. I ended up losing everything. And of course, there was a time, Sean and his whole team, Jeff and all of them, they recorded my story back in February, and I've yet to release it. So I'm actually presenting it to you guys before you today. So even during this and after, probably in 2012, I ended up leaving the business, and I went on my own soul-searching mission. And it wasn't easy. I lost everything. I lost everything down to my car. I had to file for bankruptcy. I worked on a food truck. I was earning $20 an hour, and I was a single mom. So that, I think, is the first time I have actually said this in public. But those are the moments that shape you. But one of the biggest moments that shaped me, of course, was losing my mom to cancer in 2018. And not only did I lose my mother, who was my best friend and the biggest female role model in my life, I ended up, of course, losing someone that was a business leader in my life, right? So I was faced with not only having to deal with the lack of her physical presence in 2018, I was faced with something really big, which was to fill her shoes in business. And I was never, one of the things that I just wanted to say was, I don't know if I was really ready for it, because I was nowhere near my mom's career and life accomplishments. My mom was an immigrant from the Philippines. She created this multi-million-dollar business in real estate. She was an accountant by trade, so she helped people with their numbers and get into homes for the first time. And then not only that, she was such a kind heart. She was so giving to the people in the Philippines. I was nowhere near that. I'd lost her. And I decided to go ahead and, after her death, take an inward journey. And that inward journey home was, of course, delving deep into what was really what I believe to be me finding myself. And so in that 3 years that preceded, I did a lot of healing, and I did a lot of self-development and work on myself. And I did finally realize that there was something greater for myself, and I finally stepped into my own. And I really had come to terms with that my biggest passion in life was being of service to others. So as much as I had so much real estate background, and I still do, and I still continue to do that, one of the biggest realizations that I did have was I would like to be of service to others. And sometimes that's scary because being of service to others could mean humanitarian roles or philanthropy. And I wasn't a millionaire. So anyways, fast forward to 2020, I decided to go ahead and start live streaming because I had a great passion for the people of the Philippines. So I started live streaming there because we were in the middle of the pandemic, and I ended up surprisingly being really good at live streaming and working with and interviewing people. But what ended up happening was, because you're live streaming and it's not recorded, I mean, it is recorded now, but on the platform I was on, you could only see me live. People had asked me if I thought about starting a podcast. So in October of 2020, I started what was called the 8 Billion Podcast. And its mission is to share stories of individuals as they discover their purpose, and also to serve one day as a time capsule of experiences as we move into a unity consciousness. And so what I mean by that is, as the human race, as you guys know, there was no exception to the rule. We were all affected by the pandemic. The whole world shut down. And I think one thing for sure is it made all of us turn within, because for once in this whole time frame, the world stood still. And it forced many people to really look within, to reevaluate what they were doing, whether they lost their jobs, whether they were doing something of value, whether they were doing something that really mattered. And so that's the whole premise of the 8 Billion Podcast, is to share stories of every single individual who's looking for their purpose and discovering it. So in 1 year, I celebrated my 1-year anniversary last week. I launched a series of videos, and I'm just gonna go ahead and show you the next video. It's gonna be season 1, but it'll give you an understanding of the type of interviews that I do. And in 1 year, just to let you guys know, I ranked in the top 5 in global podcasts on Listen Notes out of 2.4 million podcasts in my first year. And here's the thing, you guys, what's really amazing about it is when you truly come from a place of purpose and passion, I know, I mean, a lot of you guys are amazing experts here in like telling us exactly what it is in the video and like knowing your numbers and your downloads. I didn't pay attention to my downloads. In fact, I didn't know the numbers, right? And if I even tell you what my downloads are, you'd be really surprised at how low they are. But what I did concentrate on were the connections that I made and the conversations that I had. So here is a little snippet of what my first season looked like.
And they instantly jumped on each other and cried and cried and cried.
And you just had no fear. When you go through that journey and that walk with your parent, it shakes you to your core.
If you continue to love somebody until they can love themselves, their life might change.
I had so much realization about life.
Milestone, keep going, and then never actually fulfilling something in a...
Look in the mirror and ask yourself, how am I being a person of value?
The more value you have, the greater your ability to help other people.
I have been begging the world to just stop for 5 minutes so I could just get myself in order.
Just keep trying, don't give up.
So that was my first season, right? And interestingly enough, I launched 8 Billion in October of 2020. And interestingly, like I was just saying, in walks Brandon T. Adams into my life. and a 90-day mastermind and 6 teammates, 2 of which are here today, that one I got to meet in person finally. But it absolutely revolutionized the way that, 1, I do business, but 2, moreover, my mission. So I just want to give these short points right here, how video marketing changed my business and moreover my mission. So visibility, my reach is, I have a global reach audience in real time through live streaming and social media. So like right now, there's so many different platforms that you guys could use where you live stream and it actually goes on live. So back in the day on the other platform that I was on, I would go live, but it wasn't pre-recorded. So there's so many different things you guys can do. So you have global reach around the world almost immediately in real time. It allowed me to be creative through video as opposed to traditional marketing. Now, when I say that, I'm referencing back to real estate. In real estate and traditional marketing, it was always postcards, flyers. It was like all of that traditional stuff. But what's different today is exactly what like Ralph presented on, is you could do videos. You could do a 1-minute video snapshot and then say, hey, come and take a look at the home, and you have everything in 3D. So video is absolutely revolutionizing the way we do business on all levels, whether it's business or even mission. And lastly, it's made me a great storyteller. It's allowed me to share these experiences and moments of others that are most unique and rare parts of the human emotion. And that's exactly what video absolutely does. Is it captures those rare moments of emotion at the time that it's delivered. And so what I'd like to tell you guys is, for me, my mission is this. We are moving into a oneness, unity consciousness. And like I'm saying, we're all moving in that place where we are shedding our egos, where we are accepting all of us for who we are. And one of the things about that is coming from this place of non-judgment. And then many times before, like you'll hear so many of the speakers that were up here, they didn't feel worthy enough to be up here. Even still, I don't feel worthy enough to be here. But what I'm trying to do is be an example to all of you guys that each of your stories matter. And so I'm on this mission for 8 billion to do that, to let you guys know that each of you guys matter and that there is a story that you each can tell. So start somewhere, be proud, don't judge. Success and failure, I mean, like, that's the thing about not judging where you come from or what you've done. If we come from a place of no judgment, the thing is, successes and failures don't matter, right? Good or bad doesn't matter. The thing that really does matter is that you came here. You came here to live, you came here to experience. And that's what I'm saying is, one day, life is gonna flash before your very eyes, right? And they say, make sure it's worth watching. But I'd like to actually make that a different comment. It's one day your life is gonna flash before your very eyes. Make sure it's worth watching, literally. So next up, I'm gonna show you guys a clip of my season 4 that's coming up. I do have one story that I'd like to tell. I know we have like only 15 minutes, Brandon, but like I told you, the biggest thing for a lot of people when they start podcasts, you want to get like big influencers with big numbers because that's the way you do it. Collaborations and all that kind of stuff. I told stories of anyone and everyone that wanted to be on the podcast because they had the courage to be empowered and share their voice. And so I gave them that platform. What was interesting, in 3 seasons, I managed to, like I said, become top 5% in global podcasts. So I shared from guests that were in Australia, Jamaica, Canada, and all this kind of stuff. What was a really big surprise was in August, I had met a Filipina actress, and she was huge in the Philippines. And I had connected with her on a genuine level. And interestingly enough, she wanted to come on the 8 Billion podcast. What I didn't know was that she had 3 million followers on Instagram. And of course, she had 13 million followers on Facebook. I didn't know this. I just connected with her genuinely. And I thought she was going to come on the podcast just to share, like personal development and encouragement. What I didn't know was she was going to tell her tell-all story. And she gave me the opportunity to do that because I genuinely connected from a heart space with her. And so it's been nerve-wracking because I actually launched that podcast last night. So my social media has been blowing up. My YouTube has been blowing up. And I like what I'm saying is I did it. I did it for a good reason. I did it with a good purpose. It wasn't anything to become popular. It wasn't to create fame or more power. I did it because I felt there was a responsibility to sit down and share her story in a genuine, authentic way. And she chose me. So you can imagine every talk show host probably wanted her story. And she allowed me to share it. So I'm gonna go ahead and share. I wish I could share the trailer with you guys, but if you guys go on my YouTube, you guys will start to see some of the trailers that we created. But she worked with me from the Philippines, and that's why I'm a little bit jet lagged. But here I'm gonna share a little bit about a trailer of season 4.
Hi everyone, welcome to the 8 Billion Podcast. I am your host, Lisa, Florida. I would like to thank everyone for an incredible year. Thanks to you, the 8 Billion Podcast has had the honor of interviewing guests from all around the world and is ranked in the top 5% of global podcasts on Listen Notes. This mission was set out to one day be a gift to the world, a platform for all individuals to share their stories and change the trajectory of the human race. Although this present moment marks unprecedented times in human history that are uncertain, there will come a day that all our stories will be time capsules for many generations ahead to look back upon, knowing that we all had the courage to stand in our power and become a world known for love, compassion, and service to others.
So I wish I had more time, and I do have a longer story, but I just want to say thank you to all of you guys who allowed me this 10, 15 minutes to share with you my mission and my business. I still do, of course, real estate asset management. We are on the cusp of a market correction. I know that maybe Ralph might know that. So I just want to let you guys know, really follow your purpose and your passions in life, and I promise you, you can't go wrong, because interestingly enough, the right people and in the right places, and it will all just appear. So thank you guys again for all of your support.